Hello, welcome to Haunted Pages, The Turn of the Screw, Innocence, Evil, and the Terror of Interpretation. Some stories frighten us because they show us something terrible. Others frighten us because we are never allowed to be certain what we have seen at all. The Turn of the Screw is not a story that asks to be solved. It is a story that asks, what happens when certainty becomes dangerous? First published in 1898, The Turn of the Screw endures, not because of what it reveals, but because of what it withholds. Henry James gives us a governess, a remote country estate, and 2 children placed entirely in her care. And then he gives us something far more unsettling than a haunted house. A narrator who believes herself absolutely right. This is not a story haunted by ghosts alone. It is haunted by interpretation. Bly is outwardly serene. The grounds are beautiful. The children are charming, intelligent, and seemingly innocent. Everything appears ordered, calm, and safe. And yet, from the very beginning, something is wrong. The governess is isolated. There is no equal to consult, no authority to appeal to, no external confirmation of her fears. She stands alone with her perceptions, and that solitude becomes the story's true danger. The governess begins to see figures she believes are threatening the children. She interprets their presence as evidence of moral corruption, of innocence under attack. But Henry James never allows a certainty. Are these apparitions real? Or are they projections? Fear, repression, obsession, given shape by imagination. The terror of The Turn of the Screw lies in the impossibility of knowing whether vigilance is protection or violation. The governess speaks often of innocence. She believes it is her sacred duty to guard it, preserve it, save it. And yet, James presses a devastating question. At what point does protection become possession? When does moral certainty begin to crowd out humility? The governess never doubts herself. She never considers that she might be mistaken, and that unwavering confidence may be the most frightening thing in the story. This is where The Turn of the Screw becomes morally severe. Evil here is not theatrical. It does not announce itself with cruelty or spectacle. It hides behind good intentions, religious language, and the desire to be right. James suggests that obsession with purity, when divorced from restraint and self-examination, can become destructive. Not because evil is sought, but because certainty is. Readers often ask whether The Turn of the Screw is a ghost story or a psychological one. Henry James refuses to answer. because the refusal is the point. The story ends without clarity, without reassurance, without moral triumph. What remains is unease and responsibility. James leaves us not with answers, but with a warning. Certainty without humility is a dangerous thing. The turn of the screw does not ask us what we believe about ghosts. It asks us how we hold our convictions. Do we allow room for doubt, for humility, for the possibility that we may be wrong? Henry James reminds us that evil does not always look like malice. Sometimes it arrives clothed in certainty, convinced of its own righteousness. Each story leaves a trace, a question that lingers long after the page is turned.